Welcome to Locality's Making Bank podcast, where we continue our exploration of South Florida's entrepreneurial landscape with host Keith Costello, co-founder and CEO of Locality Bank. Sit back, relax, and let South Florida visionaries guide you on an entrepreneurial journey from tribulation to triumph, sharing the very stories that have shaped them.
Mark Lachance, welcome to Locality Bank's Making Bank podcast.
Glad to be here, Keith.
And it's great to have you here. We're doing our first live podcast here from Empire Social, which is one of our favorite hangouts. We're trying to get a more Joe Rogan-esh, instead of doing it in a bank now, we're going to be smoking cigars. No pot, but, or at least not yet. We're smoking cigars right now. But anyway, enough about that. Mark, really happy that you're here today. Mark has really got an amazing background. If you look at his LinkedIn profile, the guy's been involved in like 5 or 6 different businesses. He has written a book, which is The Lucky Formula. What a cool title, because Lachance, lucky, right?
There, you understand French?
And check out that nice hat that he's brought for me. So, and being Irish, I can really, I love that clover. That's, I respond well to that. So, but anyway, we usually start out, Mark, talking about where you grew up. And I know you've been U.S., Canada. So tell us, where you grew up and what your family was like growing up. I mean, we're just talking about our kids and stuff, but what was it like growing up in your family and where'd you start?
So I'm the oldest of 3 brothers. So I've got 2 younger brothers. They both were superstar hockey players. So this maybe you'll see how this ties in.
Okay.
But I grew up in Bristol, Connecticut. I was born in 1969. So that would make me 56 years old. I think I had a pretty good childhood. My father owned a construction company, but I worked on the crew. So I literally had my hard hat on. And if you read the book, you're going to say my biggest, I guess, why for working so hard is the fact that I don't ever want to wake up, look out the window, see that blazing sun come up over the horizon and know I have to be on the roof. So think about that. Like, Keith, you go to the office every day, you don't have to go on the roof.
You had to go on the roof.
I had to go on the roof.
Yeah. And
sweat my my bottom side. It was terrible. It was horrible. After work, I would crawl back up the stairs and literally just pass out on the floor until I can regain my strength to get in the shower. So.
Wow.
But look, my father instilled a work ethic in us, all of us. So successful in sports. My middle brother played in the NHL for 13 years.
Wow.
He drafted 4th overall by the Islanders in 1991. My little brother was drafted in the 6th round by the St. Louis Blues. Played pro hockey for 10 years, and I was sort of the black sheep. I didn't play, but it was a great learning experience, and I remember, I think one of the defining comments that was always made to me, "What happened to you? What happened to you?" Right? And my response was always like, "Well, I'm in Albertville, France, watching my brother in the Olympics. Where's your brother? Oh, he's sitting behind the desk as an accountant," or something like that, right?
There you go.
So that was always
your
response.
comeback, right?
Yeah, there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But you also, you've distinguished yourself in a different area, though. So you've taken, instead of becoming a pro hockey player, you went in a different direction. So so you were working with your family, obviously hockey players all around you, and you decide, how do you make your decision about, where you're going to college and what you're going to do?
So my parents pushed college.
Okay.
They said, they're like, look, I was actually the first one to graduate college in my whole family, 17 cousins.
Wow.
So they moved in 65, the family, 8 kids. And my grandparents moved from eastern Quebec to Lewiston, Maine, then Bristol, Connecticut. So I was the first one to graduate college.
Wow.
And my parents pushed education, but none of his brothers and sisters really pushed education. But my parents said, it's very, very important. But in 1992, when I was graduating, if you remember back then, Keith, the economy wasn't great.
Right.
And the only jobs, I went to Bentley College in Boston, or outside of
Great
Boston.
school, which I'm familiar with, yeah.
Bentley University now, so.
Okay.
The other BU.
Okay.
So the only jobs available really were a job for $22,000 a year at Staples or $24,000 a year at State Street. And I'm sitting back watching my brother play, on the U.S. national team, on the U.S. Olympic team, Boston University. And I started generating a lot of connections through him. The scouts, the general managers, the players. And I said, you know what? I kind of like this lifestyle. I don't want to go work at Staples in a cubicle. I want to be a sports agent. So I made a deal with my father. I said, Dad, I'm going to come work for you 4 days a week. I'll work my butt off. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to travel all over to Quebec, to Toronto, to Boston, and I'll recruit players. So that's what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you did that for how long?
I did that from 92 to about, I think it was about 2000.
And how'd that work out for you?
Well, to be honest, it was amazingly fun for the first 4 or 5 years. And then I started getting fired by my clients. So I had at the height of, I'll call it my agent career, I had 7 guys in the National Hockey League and 35 guys in the minors working their way up. And then all of a sudden, I think it was 1998, 2 of them fired me. Two of my top clients fired me. 30% of your revenue out the window in one fell swoop.
Wow.
And at that time, I had a buddy that was in the payments business, and he had about 2,000 clients. And if he lost 3 of them, he wouldn't care, 2 or 3.
Right.
Tiny percentage. And he was making recurring revenue. So, in the payment space, Keith, you're a banker. Each client was paying him about $100 to $150 a month. So he was making $20,000 to $30,000 a month of recurring revenue. And I had to go out there and sign these players every single year as an annual contract. And so I said to myself, this is really a stupid business. I have to be out there. I have to babysit them. I have to wipe their noses all the time. And you can get fired like that. So
right.
I made the flip to payments. Never looked back. That was an awesome experience.
So that was a nice pivot
Yeah.
and worked out. And then you did that for how long and what'd you do?
Since 1998, and I sold my company in 2017. So that was a long time, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why did you sell?
Well, that was actually my 3rd payments company.
Wow.
So this is a good story, actually. I think
Okay.
it's a good story. So the first one I started in Boston when I was in Framingham, and I had a tiny little office in Framingham, and it was the .com craze. And then I had an idea to go to Canada because Canadian merchants, online merchants, could not get credit card processing.
Really?
Right? So if you were selling books online in 1999, you couldn't get a processor. You couldn't
Wow.
get the ability to accept credit cards. And I had a connection with Card Service International in LA, and they could issue international MIDs, MIDs, merchant ID numbers. So I went to every internet service provider in Montreal, in Ottawa, in Toronto, and started getting referrals from them. And we started doing amazingly well, signing up merchants like that, because I was the only one that I had the vision to go to Canada. Nobody else is doing it.
Right.
I'm Canadian, I'm a dual citizen, so I'm going to go do business in Canada.
Yeah.
And then through that experience in 1999, I met a guy, a company, DCI Components. And the guy pitched me a dream of the dream of the century. Listen to this. So he says, Mark, I want to buy your company. And I'm like, well, Gary, I hardly have any revenues. He's like, I want to buy your company. I'm going to buy all these other companies. We're going to put them together and go public, or back them into my public vehicle.
Uh-huh.
So his shares were like a dime, 10 cents. He buys me. He puts all these companies together. The product didn't work, but he was an incredible sales guy. So I see my shares. So I sold it for shares at the time.
Yeah.
And my shares went from a dime all the way to $10, but I was locked in.
Okay.
So I'm sitting on at the time, I think it was about $4 million I think I was 23 or 24, sitting on $4 million back in 2000.
Yeah.
.com craze.
Yeah.
And what happens after the crash? My shares get wiped out, and I was left with a $40,000 tax bill.
Oh, no.
The IRS. That's my experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
there's one for, watch out for that.
Don't do an only stock sale is my,
Yeah. Make sure you get a little cash and
there you
don't
go.
get locked up forever.
there you go.
There's a lesson for people.
That's right.
So that happens, and then what do you end up doing now?
Through the payments opportunity, I met a guy in Montreal. Guy's actually a genius. Gentleman by the name of Phil Fair, I think he's worth about $10 billion right now. And I got an
How'd you
opportunity.
meet him?
Through payments, through going through Canada, right? So
Yeah.
the guy was in Montreal, and he was a one-man shop. Actually, he and a tech guy. And he's like, Mark, I like your style. Come up to Montreal, and we'll build this business. So it was myself, him, and a tech guy, and we literally built it in a year to about 220 employees. We completely blitzed this business. And then over the course of, let's say, 6 years, I had built up equity in the company, had a $3 million. I thought it was time, and I knew it was time to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been there, Keith, right? So
yeah.
Working for somebody else, it's tough, especially when somebody's a hard driver and frankly a pain in the ass. so I said I have to do it myself. Sold my shares back to him, and then jumped into another company. But if you read my book, it starts out right at my biggest failure in life. And that was I took that $3 million that I made from the sale of my shares and rolled it all into a real estate project.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you the year, and you're going to wince. 2007.
Ooh.
The beginning of 2007. You remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
I
was starting a bank then.
I remember you telling me your horror story.
Yeah, exactly.
So rolled it in at the exact wrong time, lost my $3 million, verge of bankruptcy, and had to pivot back into payments.
Okay.
So, but that was an interesting story because it was end of 2008, and I was literally on my last pennies. And so I picked up the phone and I called a buddy of mine in New York. I said, Todd, I'm literally bankrupt. I need help. I know the payment space. I'm good at the payment space. I know how to build a large organization. And he said, well, you just might be in luck. He said, Ray from, can I say the name? Can I say the name?
Sure. Yeah.
So Ray Sidholm, who at the time was a billionaire, is a multi-billionaire now. He said, you might be in luck. Ray and Jeff are, they're starting a division in Canada. I'm like, you're kidding me. And they're looking for somebody to run it. I'm like, you're kidding me. And they're looking for somebody to put in some cash and get a piece of the equity. I said, well, I have a problem. I don't have any cash right now. I'm dead broke.
Yeah.
But he said, look, get on a plane, go meet them in New York. And I was nervous. Like, I don't know, you've been in that situation?
Sure.
Keith?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
The meeting was at 10 a.m. I couldn't sleep the whole night.
I bet.
Sweating profusely the whole night. And I walk into the meeting with Jeff and Ray. And then there was a group, there was a CFO around the table, his chief operating officer, and there was me. And I was the center of attention, meaning I was getting pelted with questions.
Right.
But I had my dancing shoes on that day. I had luck with me, and I killed the interview.
Nice.
Somehow begged and scratched and clawed myself to $200,000, invested in the business, and got a 30% equity stake in the company. So we launched in 2008.
And what was that name of that company?
Evo Payments Canada.
Okay.
Right. So division of EVO, which is Evolution Payments.
Okay.
But I think if you want to get a learning experience out of it, I've got a pretty good, and I talk about that in my book. And by the way, that book is 5 years old. I'm not here pitching my book at all.
No, but I mean, that, and believe me, I have your book ready to buy. I was getting ready to buy it.
That one for free.
Now you gave me one for free. Because,
and there's an autograph in there.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Mark. But I was reading, when I was reading about you and I saw you had that book and I went on Amazon, I'm like, wow, I got to buy this book. So it's in my, save for next purchase. So you jumped the gun on me and brought me one. But I would say that judging, just reading on Amazon about what's in this book, I know you're not pitching it, but there are a lot of good lessons in there, obviously.
Well, they're true lessons, right? So you get a lot of these self-help gurus or business gurus that they never went through.
Right.
I have the bruises and the and the scars.
No, and you're bearing your soul, and you're saying,
right.
I was broke, and and I was telling you the same thing happened to me.
That's right.
In 2007, 8, and starting a bank, but not that many people go through, or not many people also, I think. And you're right. A lot of these books that you get are written by people who are authors. They're not really. They haven't been through the hard times. They haven't had to suffer.
PhDs, Keith.
Well, my definition of a PhD, we like to hire them: poor, hungry, and driven.
There you go.
So, but anyway, having really bared your soul, like, hey, I went through this, and talk about some of the things that because let's face it, nobody. You can go from Jeff Bezos to, Steve Jobs. You go down the list. All those guys went through some really hard times. And people see them today and they're like, oh, they've always been billionaires.
You mean an overnight success 30 years ago,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so Evo Canada
Yeah.
becomes a success.
Well, I think my biggest learning from Evo Canada
Yeah.
was, so we launched it was March of 2009
Okay.
was the launch. It took us a while to set it up, but we launched officially.
Yeah.
So we had a telemarketing appointment setting model across Canada. So I had sales reps in every, and this is my major junior hockey league strategy. So I had a rep or two in every city that had a major junior hockey league team. And I'll explain. So a junior hockey league team is like college.
Right.
It's just like a college team.
Yeah.
So for example, you've got your favorite team, which is Miami. So I would have had a couple of reps in Miami. I would have had a couple of reps in Boca because what's the school? FAU.
Yeah.
So I would have had a rep in every single city. So there's about 60 markets across Canada, and I had reps, and we would telemarket into those locations and book 3 to 4 appointments per day per rep. And I would have a manager on the phone making sure they went into the location, making sure that they pitched properly, and if they needed to close, they'd get the manager on the phone, and the manager would help close, and so they could pick up the documentation. It was efficient back then. Now it's not. Doesn't work anymore, but it was amazingly efficient.
Yeah.
We took off. We went from literally me to 115 employees internally, 75 telemarketers plus staff around that, operations, accounting, finance, blah, blah, blah. And then we had 130 reps on the road.
Wow.
So we had a massive recruiting. I was actually the first recruiter of the company. We were running webinars and recruiting that way.
Yeah.
And pitching the fact that they could actually, if you're a good rep, you could crush it financially. And we had a lot that did.
Yeah.
But the point I'm getting to is that after about a year of running this thing, I literally did not know how to run a big organization. The company was running me. So I'm sitting at my desk. It's December of 2010. And always around my birthday, December 13th, I have kind of a renaissance or a resurgence. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm on the 5th floor. I want to throw that computer out the window, and I might want to jump after it because I have 200 unanswered emails. My door never stops being knocked on. Hey, Mark, what about this? What about this? So I literally did not know how to manage a large organization. And I needed a coach. I needed help. So I got on the internet and I'm like, business coaching on Google. Tony Robbins kept on coming up. Tony Robbins. And so he had an event called Business Mastery about a month later in January 2011 in Las Vegas. 10 grand. And at the time I was literally just getting out of my financial wreckage.
So 10 grand was a lot of money.
10 grand was a lot of money. So I called my wife and I'm like, I have to do this. She's like, go for it. So I went, and it was literally like I was smacked in the face as soon as I sat down in that seat, and Tony Robbins is right there. And in the phrase or the statement that really resonates with me till today is the fact that if your company is not doing well, it's your fault. I'm like, what do you mean it's my fault? My company's actually doing well. He goes, if you have to manage your team and do everything for your team, it's your fault. You're not a good leader. And so I was like shocked to hear that. Like, what do you mean? He's like, the point was that if you're doing the job of your your vice president of sales, your vice president of operations, if you have to look up their look, if you have to continue to, look at everything they do, then they're not good leaders. You need to be managing from back. You need to understand the data, and that's it. So I was getting emails about, operational numbers. What are our drop call ratios? What's our booked appointment ratios? I was literally on every distribution list, and I was going out of my mind. So between Tony Robbins and Dan Sullivan, strategic coach, I think we spoke about this.
Yes, yeah.
They taught me how to run what's called a self-managing business. And I don't think I made this theory up, but it's called the entrepreneur's dilemma. I call it that. Meaning when you're a business owner, and there's probably a lot of small business owners here.
Yeah.
You think you have to do everything because you think you're the smartest, but that's a complete fallacy, right? You need to put the people in the right positions that are better than you. I can't do everything. You can't do everything, right? So I'm sure you don't do the underwriting. Actually, I know you don't do the underwriting. I know that. If you did, Keith. But so you need to put the people that are the best at what they do in the right positions. And guess what? Your job is to do what you want to do and what makes you happy and gives you energy.
Which is why I'm doing podcasts.
There you go. You see that? You want to be a podcaster, and you're a damn good one, Keith. So I think that's my biggest learning from that period of my life, and I still use that today. Put the smartest people in the seat, let them do the work, give them coaching if they need it, but hands off, go.
So that is some of the best advice we've ever gotten on the podcast for entrepreneurs. And the fact that you came up against this wall, you'd named two great, really legendary coaches out there, Tony Robbins and Dan Sullivan, and a lot of people, and Strategic Coach is the program, I guess. A lot of people have gone through that. I know a lot of people have. I haven't done it myself, but we use something similar, I think I mentioned, which is the Entrepreneur Operating System, or EOS, which even though I had experience running businesses before, it was when I used all different systems. And for me, the beauty of EOS was, here's one system, because I'm also in Vistage. And in Vistage, every month we have a different speaker come in and they talk about how to do marketing, how to be more profitable, how to do sales. And I'm like, hey, I can't change things every month. Every speaker sounds great. I need one way to do everything. And that was what EOS gave us, really. So for me, that's been a real blessing, and has helped me be able to do more podcasts, help me be able to stay, above, and the expression of working on the business, not in the business, right?
Exactly.
And stepping back. So that's great advice. Mm-hmm. So as you use that in your business, what happens?
Well, my stress levels went way down, and our numbers took off. And one of the coolest things, actually, this was a cool experience, is I became at that Tony Robbins event. It was a 4-day business mastery. I became friendly with one of the guys who helps Tony, one of his associates.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to be the person that Tony actually interviews. Right?
Yeah.
So this was a cool experience. And I think there were about 6,000 or 7,000 people in the crowd. And I'm like, I want to be the guy. He's like, all right, I'll make that happen. You stand up when Tony's walking around and talking about, because I wanted to be in the section that had sales funnel. He was talking about the sales funnel.
Yeah.
From A to Z. And I said, I can provide value to everybody here. So I stood up. I literally stood up, and I'm standing there for 15 minutes, and the crowd is all around me. They're like, what is this idiot doing, So, and then I almost sat down, and the guy's like, stand up. He peers at me, stand up. He must have told Tony to pick me, I guess.
Yeah.
So then, sir, tell me what are you here for? So we literally broke down my business, everything from telemarketing. Up in front of everybody. In front of everybody.
Wow.
And it was boom, and I was answering back and forth. I was in the zone. You've been in the zone, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You've been in that
Sure.
That flow state. I was in that flow state.
Nice.
And so we went from lead gen to the appointment to the sit down to the sale to the blah blah, all the way through to the eventual close and revenue. And then he helped tweak a few percentage points along the way, the whole funnel. And then, so after that, I got a standing ovation. I got a stack of business cards like this. When you take your company public, I want to buy.
Wow.
That was like a huge experience. So that sort of catapulted me into excitement and being in the flow state for I was in the zone for a long time. And then I hit a flat wall, but we don't need to get into that.
Okay, no, keep going. So what happens next?
Well, what happens next is that, the economy sort of faltered, or there was something that happened in the payment space in Canada, and a huge competitor came in. So we had to change our tactics and our strategy. And this is actually, while our numbers ground not to a halt, but completely slowed down. I said, you know what? I'm going to use this junior hockey strategy, and I'm going to take it to the next level. I said, I'm going to do a deal with every major junior league team. I'm going to get discounted season tickets. And if you use my service, you get free season tickets. Right? So I did the cost benefit analysis. It worked out. Right? I'd get a return in 14 months.
Okay.
So I came up with a pretty big budget, had my reps all fired up, and I literally 300% grew our business by 300% overnight. So the average month we'd bring, I think the number was about 120 to 150 deals.
Yeah.
because of this program, we got over 400, like 3 or 4 months in a row.
Wow.
It was insane. It was insane. But think about it. It's like if you go to Miami, University of Miami, and you say, hey, I'll buy a bulk pack of your season tickets. And then if you have a service that resonates with this place, or, hey, I'll give you free season tickets. If you use my service, chances are they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So my numbers went like that. So I was.
Put that down, Brian. Marketing tip. Go to we buy a packet of season tickets, and then we give those out to customers if they do business with us. We're gonna steal that one. Okay.
No problem. Use it.
Ryan's got that. He's got his hat on today. Even
I see it. There you go. Awesome. So yeah, that was a phenomenal situation. We drove the traffic, and then about 2 years after that, I was able to sell the company in 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great story.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And during that period of time, you're in Canada.
And I was in Montreal.
Montreal.
I moved to Montreal in 2001.
Okay.
To start with that gentleman, the multi-billionaire, I'll call him.
Yeah.
And
did you still keep in touch with him?
No, he wasn't happy I left his company.
Oh, okay.
And I competed,
those billionaires, man.
And I competed against them.
They hate it when somebody makes a few million. You know, they gotta have everything for themselves, right?
That's right.
So you're in Canada, and then you're out of that company, and what comes next for you?
Well, we actually, while I was in that company, we also, with my wife, we started nutrition centers, and we partnered with a nutrition company, and it was sort of direct sales, it was direct sales, multi-level marketing, where we built the platform. This is a pretty cool story. So it was back in 2011. I was on the beach in Santa Monica, and I see, actually not that I see, at Tony Robbins in 2011, I'm sitting right next to a guy in Montreal. He lives in Montreal. I'm like, that's weird. Okay, it turns out that great guy. When we get back to Montreal, we go to dinner with the wives. Turns out that he's got a successful business, and I'll explain to you in a second. So one day, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months later, he comes into my office on a Tuesday afternoon at 2:00. And back then, if you remember back in 2011, 2012, we were wearing suits. Everybody was. He walks in with shorts and a t-shirt. I'm like, I thought you were a successful business guy. Like, how you dressed like that? He's like, I am. I'm retired. I'm like, you're my age. At that time, I was, 45.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you retired at 45? Well, he goes, I work for a company. I won't mention the name of the company, but I work for a company, and we're in direct sales, multi-level marketing. And I'm like, oh, really? Dude, I hope you're not going to pitch me on MLM. Seriously? And he's like, well, I'm not really here to pitch you, but it kind of looks like you're stressed, and I kind of have a good lifestyle. So I'm like, all right, touche. He goes, tell me about it. And then he says, hey, I see, because I had in my office, I had a bunch of autographed jerseys of pro hockey players, one of them being my brother's. And so he goes, it looks like you're an athlete. There's a strategy in my business where we use working out athletics to drive business. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I called my trainer. I said, hey, Sean, let's go to Santa Monica. This guy's going to fly us out there to check out this business model. What's the worst we can do? Have fun in LA, right? So we went and had fun in LA. And it was a Sunday morning, and we had to be on Santa Monica Beach at 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning. I'm like, what the heck? This is weird. But we went. 400 people on a beach doing a boot camp.
Wow.
And have you ever done a workout on the beach?
Yes, I've done many on the beach.
Pretty hard, right?
Yeah.
So we did the workout. I almost died because I was way out of shape. I didn't think so, but I was way out of shape at that time. 23% body fat. Like,
oh.
Terrible. So, but that wasn't the intriguing thing. The intriguing thing was from beach to Culver City, which was their nutrition club. So they went from the beach, from the workout, to their nutrition club, about a 25-minute ride inland to get a shake and aloe and tea, which is
after the workout.
After
all
the workout.
400, or
almost.
Oh,
that was the thing, right? So about 70% of that beach went for post-recovery nutrition.
Wow, 25 miles.
Yes. No, 25 minutes.
Oh, 25 minutes.
So Santa Monica to Culver City.
Gotcha.
Whatever, maybe
right.
5 miles, 10 miles.
Yeah.
But in LA traffic, it's insane.
Right.
So I get there and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It was packed. The place was packed. And so I started talking to the people. I'm like, hey, my buddy Stefan sent me here. Tell me about the business. So I would talk to these people. I lost, 50 pounds. Look at my before and after. I lost this much weight. I feel great, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, all right, great. Tell me about the business. So I'm making $10,000 a month. I'm like, you? And I said that in my head. Another guy would be like, I'm making $25,000 a month. I'm like, this is BS. I don't believe any of it. And then another guy's making $50,000 and $35,000, blah, blah. And the guy who ran the place, $100,000 a month in recurring revenue. And I'm like, I don't believe any of it. So he's like, all right, come into my office. I'll show you my back end system. Lo and behold, that guy's making $100,000 a month. And
this is the guy who's running the 400 people.
Exactly. So what the business is you're recruiting health coaches to bring their clients to these workouts and put them on nutrition products and have them lose 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds.
Right.
And then also, motivate them and keep them locked in, which creates a recurring revenue. And so in the back of my head, I'm like, if you guys can do this in LA, and none of these guys had any education. A lot of these guys are from the ghetto, to be frank. So I was impressed with their work ethic and the ability to drive business. But I said, if you guys can do it, I know.
So there were PhDs, for Hungry Driven.
There you go. So I said, I'm pretty sure that we can kick your ass and we could do this in Montreal. We don't have a beach, but we can do it and beat you. So I came back fired up, me and my trainer, and we said, I'm going to build a nutrition club and a gym in my office. So my office was on the 6th and 7th floor, and there was a vacancy on the 2nd. So I put a nutrition club and a gym in there. So we don't have to go to the beach. We can go to my gym downstairs. So I had 2,000 square feet of workout area. We did boot camp style training.
Yep.
And then right after the boot camp, you walk right through the doors into my nutrition club. We went from literally zero to we were making close to $25,000 a month within about 8 months.
Wow.
It was insane. And then continued on building up. And, we got to the numbers, and we're still actually, it's funny enough, today, I don't do the business at all. I'm still getting a big, nice check every month.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my.
Do you sold the business, but you get?
No, it's recurring.
You still have it. Wow.
I don't do anything in it, but it's just recurring revenue, right?
Wow. Nice.
It's like an annuity.
Yep.
But the point of that is I saw a business model, right? I saw the opportunity. I'm like, oh my God. So these nutrition clubs are like the Trojan horse, or these workouts are the Trojan horse to put people on nutrition products and have it become a recurring business.
Yeah.
Because you bring them in there, you make them feel amazing, you motivate them, and you give them a community to come to every day. So our nutrition club was rocking. I mean, when we launched it, we only had a class on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday morning. Then we went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then we had 2 classes a day, and then 3 classes a day. The place was packed. So that's why our numbers went like that. It was pretty cool.
And your costs, probably you have a couple trainers, is it, right?
No, 0 cost. Because the trainers, that was their platform to build their nutrition business.
Okay.
So
they got.
So we had labor cost was 0.
So they were incented by the sale of the nutrition products.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's like we built this platform for you to use as your business building model.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was a fun time.
That's awesome. And that one's still going.
It's still going. It's different and morphed after COVID. All the gyms closed.
Yeah.
So we one time we had 25 gyms, which was cool.
Wow.
But it morphed into sort of a kind of a Starbucks style cafe. Right?
Yeah.
So now it's the cafes. Everybody goes to the cafes and gets there.
Still do the workouts? No?
Workouts are done separately.
Okay.
It's a different business. It kind of morphed.
Okay.
So that's why it
morphed after COVID a little
and
bit.
I loved the workout part. I got down to 7.7% body fat.
Wow.
I was shredded.
Yeah.
Right? It looks like you're like that, Keith.
I'm about 13 and a half.
Are you? It's better than me right now. That's good. But that was a lot of fun. But after COVID, I kind of let it go and pushed on the gas on my digital business, which was fun.
All right. So let's hear that story now. This is, we might have to do like 2 chapters on this one. This is incredible, Mark. Great stories.
So in 2017, after I sold my payments company,
Yep.
I was kind of sitting down, twiddling my thumb, helping my wife run the gyms, but
Yep.
it wasn't that fulfilling.
Right.
And so I wanted to do something else and get excited again and get the action and the blood flowing. So I met a guy that was a digital marketing expert but he was the only employee.
Okay.
So he had a bunch of restaurants and a couple of auto dealerships that he was doing ads for. And so I studied his business, and I actually hired him for the nutrition business. I said, drive me traffic, and we'll see if you're any good. So I had a firm before that. They were driving traffic at about $12 a lead to get somebody sitting in front of me so I can make a pitch to sell them product. Right? This guy drove the cost from 12 to 2.
Wow.
I was like, that's pretty insane. And then I got to know the guy, and we got to get along pretty well. And I said, hey, why don't we do a venture? I know how to build businesses. You have a skill set that I don't have. So if I drive in the traffic, if I bring in the clients, you buy the media, right? So if I bring in Keith Costello with Locality, you've got to drive the traffic. I get a percentage of the sale. So we literally launched that and skyrocketed. And we fell into, and in this strategy, it's a shame, it's no longer profitable, but we found a strategy where we were driving traffic to Google search and we got paid on the click. So any vertical that was profitable, and we were driving, we launched that in 2017, we were doing restaurants, dealerships in 2018. And then 2019, it started going up in 20 and 21, 22, and it skyrocketed. And then all of a sudden, AI totally crushed the model. But we were the number one in 2021, the number one advertiser on TikTok in Canada. We're spending the most money. We spent over $50 million on the platform. It was insane. It was really insane. That was fun too.
Wow. It's incredible.
But AI crushed that model, and
It's a good thing you're good at pivoting.
That's right.
Because you've had to pivot a lot, because really nothing lasts forever, right? You got to always be ready to make a move.
I will say this, though. Had I stuck in payments, I told you this story?
No.
I didn't tell you? So I sold my shares in 2006. Had I been able to stick it out, they took that company public in 2018. The shares that I sold for $3 million, guess how much they were worth when they went public?
300 million. How much?
1.2 billion.
Oh my God.
How do you like? Cheers to that.
Well, sometimes you zig when you should have zagged.
What can you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you can't ever be upset about making a profit, though.
No, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So now you're on to something new, right? So is this thing fizzled out? So you're like, okay, what's next?
Yeah. So the margins were going like this, which is crazy. And I saw it starting in 22. Actually, from 21. So our margins were unbelievable, 50% margins, right? Bottom line. And then I saw it dropping 42 the year after, then 35, then into the 20s. I'm like, technology's crushing this thing.
Right.
So it got down into the low teens and then into single digits where we had to shut the product. But the point is, it gave me an opportunity to look around and find other opportunities. And I started interviewing some of the younger, our creators. So we had a huge team of content creators. Like they would
on
put
TikTok.
out exactly.
Right.
So they would put out 10
the influencers and
exactly. So they would shoot 10 to 15 7-second, 15-second, 30-second videos, and we'd pay them per video. And my top creator, her father is the owner of Rival Boxing Gloves. And are you a boxing fan?
Yeah, I used to box in
so
college.
You know
actually.
Rival, and you've seen. Okay, her father's the owner. And I said, why are you working for me? And why aren't you working for your father? He goes, because I want to be an influencer and I don't want to work for a boxing company for some boomer. Like, you're talking about your father? So I was like, okay, you don't want to work. You don't want to take over your father's business. So I asked another one, same answer. None of the kids want to take over their parents' business. They don't want to be working in boomer businesses. So I'm like, holy shit, there's an opportunity here, right? There's got to be an opportunity in the boomer, the silver tsunami. Somebody quoted me before. The silver tsunami. So I fell into auto collision for a couple of reasons. It was about an 18% margin, and then you get what's called a prebate from the paint companies. The paint companies give you $400,000 to $500,000 per location, which allows you to then reinvest and build and build and build. So I was like, that's pretty awesome, right? And so we pivoted in that. And right now we have 3 locations, And we're implementing right now our digital strategy, and we're seeing the numbers, the numbers skyrocket.
So you're taking that digital
Yeah.
knowledge that you have, implementing it into the collision business.
That's right.
And you're able to create a great new revenue stream.
That's right.
Yeah.
And one of the things we're testing right now, which I'm not going to give you secrets yet, Keith, I'll tell you later. But
Okay.
we're testing something.
You can't give away all your secrets.
I'm not giving,
man.
not yet. Once
Yeah.
we prove it out, then I'll tell you.
All right.
But that's working pretty well right now. So
Well, that's great.
yeah,
And so the collision shops, where are they located?
we have 2 in Las Vegas and 1 about 20 minutes south of here.
Yeah,
in
great. And
Hollywood,
that's how we
Florida.
met.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So-
You financed my operation.
Absolutely. Locality.
There it
was
is.
happy to do that. And it was great.
And-
as a result, we got to meet you. So
Well, by the way, and I'm not saying this because
Yeah.
I'm here. Your team did a phenomenal job. Your underwriters are great, professional, amazing. So if you guys need an SBA loan or a small business loan, I would speak to Locality.
thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a great plug. We appreciate it. And
problem.
so so now you're trying to prove out this new concept. Do you have more acquisitions planned, or what's kind of your
Yeah,
more
we have-
acquisitions and collision?
We have a few lined up, but I'm testing out this new strategy, like I said,
Yeah.
and it's working incredibly well. So, and we've just raised, by the way, just so you know, you remember that call I got a
Yes.
few weeks ago by somebody I know?
Yeah.
No, we just raised about $11 million for that strategy.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
well, good. Congrats.
it's looking good. I mean, we're in the due diligence phase, but it's looking good,
Good.
looking really good.
Awesome.
So that'll get us to. I could tell you offline, but that'll get us to. I mean, I
Where you need to be.
truly have projected a massive company on that side.
Yeah.
So
Well, we wish you the continued luck, good luck that you've had, and we're just grateful to hear your stories.
well, thank you. I apologize for maybe talking too much here, Keith, but you got me excited.
No, this is why you're here, to tell your story, and this is so helpful to so many people. It's really that because you have had so many different experiences. You're truly an entrepreneur, and you've done so many different things. And most people, maybe they've got one or two, or you've had a number of different. I was saying you've had like 3 or 4 lifetimes here with businesses, and you're still a young guy, so you got a lot more left.
That's right.
So let's go to some of the lessons, maybe dig down a little bit deeper to some of the things you've gone through. I guess with all these different pivots, and you've had success, you've had failure. What is one of the biggest lessons, I guess, that you could share with entrepreneurs that are listening? Some maybe just starting out, some maybe going through a downturn in their business. And what advice would you give? What's one of the best lessons you've learned?
Well, you always, and you used the word pivot earlier, right? You always have to pivot, even if you're not pivoting out of an industry into another one, which I often do within your business. You always have to remake your business. I mean, even if you look at the payments business, we literally from 2001 to 2007, 1998 to 2017, there were different iterations. So we started in door-to-door knockers, right? So guys were knocking on doors, and then that fizzled out because nobody would let them in, or no solicitation. Then we went to telesales. Then it morphed into online digital marketing. So marketing is always morphing, always. I mean, you've seen that in banking, right?
Yeah, and
Always.
Ryan knows it.
Yeah.
With what he's working.
So you constantly have to pivot your business. So in collision, you're always pivoting. I mean, a lot of the guys, and we don't have this because we didn't, we just started in the space, but we don't have what's called a DRP, or direct repair programs with insurance companies. So I had to create a business development model and a digital model because I don't have direct relationships with, let's say, Allstate or Geico or any of the big guys. That comes over time. We're a brand new shop. They don't trust us. They don't know us.
Right.
So we've got to go knocking on doors in the neighborhoods and go to the fleets. So the AT&Ts of the world, and the big plumbing companies, and electricians in the city of Hollywood, and whoever else, to drive in traffic that way, and then digital as well. right? So we had to pivot, and again, you're always pivoting, so you have to be on your toes.
So just get used to change and reacting to change, I guess, right?
That's right.
What's the biggest fear that, with all these different things that you've encountered, what's the biggest fear that you've had to overcome as an entrepreneur?
I can remember back in 2011. No, we launched it in, it was March 2009. The biggest fear I had was waking up at 3 a.m, and we weren't profitable yet, right? But I come to find out later that in the payments business, at that scale, it took 24 to 25 months to be cash flow break even, right? But that's a scary thing. Like when you're literally seeing that burn, you're losing $100,000, $150,000 a month. And then the next month, it's 150, then it's 120, then it's 110. You know what I mean?
That's how our business is.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
how many months, by the way, to break even?
3 years, 3.5 years.
So there you go. So my payment, at least the experience I've had, 24, 25 months. Yours is 36 months.
Yeah.
Right? That's a scary thing, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you got to educate your investors to that.
You have to educate your investors and educate yourself.
Right. I knew it already.
You knew it. I didn't know it.
Yeah.
So I was freaking out, waking up at 3 a.m, cold sweats, nightmares, and I'm going to get fired by the board. And it's like, dude, relax. You're not supposed to be cash flow positive yet, So that's like, I guess the learning from that is, and if you read a book, Brad Jacobs, How to Make a Few $1 billion.
Yes, great book.
He's got a new book, How to Make a Few More $1 billion.
I've listened, they're both on Spotify, by the way. I when I'm running, I listen to those, I listen to both of them.
So the second book, listen to the first chapter again. He talks about meditation.
Yes.
Key. That's a key for me. I meditate every single day. Key.
I do most days.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe in meditation. It's so helpful. And I think, you're right. I mean, you can let your mind just get so, you create so much stress, anxiety. So it's all really just about
a lie. It's a lie.
It is a lie. And it's just telling you, hey, everything's okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
That's right.
This has been an amazing stories today. And I mean, I was telling Mark, I would say our best podcast. I'm not insulting anybody else.
It's a lot of pressure.
But we've had some great entrepreneurs on. But I think at the level we're talking about here and the stuff that you've done, just incredible stories. And I can't wait to read your book too. So let's go to talking about really mentors. Anybody in particular, like you mentioned Tony Robbins, you mentioned Dan Sullivan. Anybody else that you came across in your business career that mentored you or that was a really big help?
Yeah, I would say, actually, funny enough, is the gentleman I went to work with in Montreal in 2001. Like he had, I guess you could say, an Italian Cajones. Like, unbelievable. And this guy would
not afraid of anything.
Not afraid. And I learned a ton from that. I was like it was crazy. He would say, like Steve Jobs, it's called the reality distortion field. Have you read that before?
Yeah.
So he would say, we're going to do this. We're going to climb Mount Everest. And everybody wouldn't believe it, but they would climb Mount Everest. You understand?
Right.
So So what I learned from that, it's what you paint the picture, what you tell your troops, your team, you're going to do. It's like a sales guy. So this is a good story right here. This is a good one. So when we pivoted from the 2009 to 2017, that business, Evo Canada, there was a period where we had stagnation in sales. And there was a US company that came in and they were funded by Ray, the same company that was funded by me. And they were kicking our ass. They were crushing my numbers. And I'm like, so I called Ray. I'm like, Ray, I got to get to Dallas. I got to see what these guys are doing. Because we couldn't get for the terminal, payment terminals. And you guys might, I think you do sell those. You do. We couldn't, our guys were struggling to get a lease of $29 a month. And these guys were getting $49 a month from Dallas.
Wow.
They're selling into my marketplace, crushing
at a
my
higher
team.
Price point.
At a way higher, same damn terminal, same piece of plastic. So I called Ray. I said, Ray, I got to get to Dallas. I have to understand what's going on here. And it was all about selling the sizzle. It was all about building value. So same terminal, they had a value sheet. Oh, with this terminal, you could print out the the receipt and put a discount code on the bottom, and when they come back, and just doing things like discount codes and referral fees and all the just these little things, and building the value on a value sheet allowed them to sell the same terminal for what 50-70% more than what we did. And I was like, and so my team didn't believe it, but I said, guys, we're going to sell them for $49. I don't care what you say, we're going to do it. Lo and behold, overnight, boom, we grew our sales we grew our top line revenue by 30% overnight. But it's all about the leader believing in the strategy and infecting his people in a positive way. It's all about the leader. And you read this book, I'm sure, Extreme Ownership.
Yeah.
By Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
There are no good teams. There are no bad teams, only bad leaders. There are no bad teams, only bad leaders. It's all about the leader. So if the leader says we're going to the mountaintop, well, he better strap in and believe it and do it, and everybody's going to follow. So I don't know how I went down that tangent, but the point is it's all about the leader, and the leader has to be, the driving force.
And really what reinforced it was that guy in your first business really reinforced that whole concept.
Mentors. That's right.
Yeah.
So
no fear.
So he was one of, I would say he was one of the mentors. And funny enough, when you read this book, it starts off with my biggest wreckage was that real estate debacle.
Yeah.
And I forget what I refer to him as, the grifter or the liar, whatever. He literally ripped me off, but it was my fault. And so while he wasn't a mentor, he was a mentor in one way. It taught me to have my radar up, and I'm a quick start. I don't know. Do you know the Colby?
Yeah.
So I'm a 4-2-10-2.
Okay.
Which I'm a low on fact finder, low on implementer, high on quick start. So that means I go into things without,
I'm a little of a quick start myself.
Yeah. But you're a banker. How can that be?
Well, I'm also entrepreneurial. So I have to surround myself with, that's why I've got to have a great chief credit officer. I've got to have a great compliance person. Because I know that I will get myself in trouble if I don't.
So
I
if
rely
I ask
on
you
those people.
for $100 million, you're not going to do it?
Yeah, I'd be shaking your hand. Say, yeah, let's do it. Let's give him $100 million. I like this guy. Guy gave me a hat. Let's give him $100 million. So, well, that's great. How about you mentioned your family. So you have a nice family, two boys who are 10, 14. You obviously have been married quite a while, and I would say it sounds like your wife's very supportive.
Yeah, she's a rock star in her own right. She was actually, for a brief period, for about 6 months, she was my number one salesperson.
Wow.
In the in Evo, Canada. But I found out later her motivation, because she was pregnant, and we were literally booking appointments for her all over the city. And her motivation was to make enough money because she wanted her kid to have the best crib and the best baby things ever. And then as soon as she got it all, she was like, "I'm out."
Well, that's the story, of the motivated salesperson right there, right?
Exactly.
That works.
Exactly.
So how would you define success?
I think success it's holistic, meaning, are you having fun in everything you do? That's success. Are you having fun? Right? So what's fun for me is different than fun for you. But I like going to the office and kicking ass every day. I like winning. It's there were times in my career where you're not always winning, but you're going to the office and you're plugging away, and you're going to figure it out. So, but I like ultimately winning and kicking ass. That's fun for me.
Yeah.
That's energetic for me.
And that is success, doing that.
Yes.
So it's like the process.
All right.
Rather than eventually you want to have an outcome, you want to have a result, but that I've heard a lot of people say that. They talk about the journey. The journey is the fun.
That's right.
And getting through, solving problems, pivoting, and getting to that end result. Obviously, there's an outcome you want at some point, but enjoying that grind, enjoying figuring stuff out like we have to do, and as an entrepreneur every day.
That's right.
Wow. So we're going to go now to the lightning round, unless you've got one more nugget that you want to share that I didn't touch on? You got a lot of them. So anything that I didn't ask that you want to say? Because, I mean, this is an audience of people who are looking for advice, who are looking to say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm going through a tough time with my business, or I'm successful, and what pitfalls. So any other nuggets you want to throw out there?
Yeah. One thing we're going through now in one of the businesses is I always preach A players, right? Having A players.
Right.
And one of the leaders of one of the divisions has a B player. Mm-hmm. And they're sort of pushing back on letting that B player go. And so what I was very happy to see is my chief operating officer came to me and he said, what I told him was, Mark says, if you're not an A player, you're not moving the ball down the field, get rid of him. So they're going to get rid of that person. But the point is, you need A players in every position. You're not always going to get A++, but you need rock stars because rock stars move the ball down the field. If you have C players, they're infecting C players pulling down.
They're poisoning.
They're poisoning the A. So you need good quality individuals. You need good people that work hard. And people might say, "Oh, but the youth are lazy or they're this." You can find them. You got to churn them out, right? Look, you're going to have to churn them up. Get your good people, treat them well, but you need A players in every position. You need it, or you're never going to grow a great business. You're never going to do it.
No, and that's great advice. And I think, talking about books like Good to Great, one of my favorites is the new version of that, which is, I can never think of the name of it, but it's, same group, Jim Collins. Yeah. And it is really, if you took all of his books, which there's probably 5 or 6 different books, right, that he's written with different authors, and they say the one thing that get right, if he had his summit, like for any business, is that you have the right people in the right seats. You got to have A players. So, and I think that's hard. C players is no problem, right? You got to get rid of them. B players, I think people sometimes it's tough, right? Because, well, they're doing a good job, but they're not an A player. And so the fact that you are pushing your team, and goes back to there are no bad teams, there's only bad leaders.
That's right.
So a bad leader tolerates mediocrity. Bad leader tolerates B players, C players. That's just leadership. That's poor leadership. They're looking to you to do something about that. That's your role, is to not let the team get infected like that. So that, to me, is that's just a great point. So let's now go to the lightning round. We talked about a lot of books. Let me go to your favorite book, other than The Lucky Formula.
No.
And you've named a bunch, so I mean, and you can name a few now if you want. There doesn't have to be one favorite.
There's one that I forget in paper, and you probably know this. You've read Atlas Shrugged?
Yeah.
I think it's a 1,200-page book, or 800.
It's a big
one. It's a big one. I read that in lightning fast speed.
Wow.
I read that in probably a week.
Oh my God.
It was insane.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites because it literally hits upon what's happening today. And every entrepreneur on this podcast should read that book.
Yeah, and especially with what we're seeing at different governments in different states.
That's right.
And why people move to Florida. Right? Because
Why did Zuckerberg move to Florida, right?
And everybody else, right? I mean, they're all coming here in droves.
That's right.
And that is a great book. And that's the one I need to reread, actually. So is there a song that you have when you need to fire up Mark Lachance, like you're having an off day, you want to get fired up? Is there a song that you have?
Yeah, there's Creed has me and my boys call it the original song because that was the first song that I ever had downloaded on my iPod, not my iPod, my iPhone. Higher by Creed. Creed's a Christian rock band.
Oh yeah, no, I know Creed.
Higher.
I know Higher. Yeah,
that's
an awesome song. Yeah. I love it.
Higher, or we actually like Queen a lot too. So Queen could be "We Are the Champions." That's an awesome song.
Love that one too.
Right?
Man. Hopefully, the American hockey team will be playing that.
Let's see. It's
soon.
coming up, Keith.
Yeah.
Coming up.
And Mark goes America, Canada, so he's going to have a tough time.
I'm torn right now.
Yeah,
Torn.
he's torn. Beyond Entrepreneurship is the book I was trying to think of.
Okay.
And what that is. So Jim Collins wrote that book along with somebody else whose name I can't remember, back in like the 90s, and as a study of and a lot of entrepreneurs have used that book. So he reissued it recently. And that's another one. Like, I listen to a lot of books on Spotify. I like to read, but I also love, when I'm running, to listen to books. And Beyond Entrepreneurship is an amazing, incredible book because it's got that original book, but it's got all these updates from Jim Collins.
Oh, cool.
So, going along and updating it. What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
I mean, I might have to get back to Dan Sullivan, right? Dan Sullivan, he taught me how to run that self-managing business.
Yeah.
And if you're not, so it's either Dan Sullivan or Tony Robbins or even Keith Cunningham, who is, Keith Cunningham?
No.
He's, he wrote a book, and this is a good one also, something about stupid. Don't be stupid or something like that. Anyway, so Keith was a presenter at Tony's event.
Okay.
And he hammered it home that, look, if you have to do the work of your direct report, it's not the right person.
Right.
So that's such a key thing. I mean, so entrepreneurs here, you could have a small business, but if you have to do the job of your, person greeting people at the front, that's not the right person. Right? If you're in the retail space, your front person better be awesome.
Right.
They better be somebody that people love to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So if you go in our Hollywood location,
yeah.
I'm going to plug Carrie right now, but Carrie, he's awesome at the front. People love him. And he's driving in business in droves. So Carrie, you got to plug.
You're plugging a lot of people here.
There you go. There you go. The road less stupid. There you go.
Road less stupid. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan's great.
See,
man.
Ryan's awesome.
He's on it. Talk about AI. I mean, across your one business, what do you think about it in going forward?
I use Claude almost every day.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah. And I use it to help me with negotiations, help me with numbers, help me think through different scenarios.
Have you used it to do any? I know Claude will help you code, and
no, I'm not.
You're not going that.
I'm not
going that deep.
My CTO does. He uses it all the time.
Yeah. Because now with Claude, I guess you and I could be coders. We could create whatever we want.
I'm going to put that in the bucket of I'm not an expert at it. You do it because I'm not going to do it.
Perfect. Okay. So you've been in Fort Lauderdale and South Florida for a while now, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Akira Back in Del Rey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. I don't get up there that much. I'll have
Although
to check it out.
We were at in Fort Lauderdale last week, Casa D'Angelo.
Yeah.
The burrata, the truffle burrata. Oh my God.
Okay.
You got to have that. If you go there, it's right down the street.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's a great local restaurant.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time, actually. Casa D'Angelo, great restaurant. Who is someone you admire and why?
I often get disappointed by my heroes. So I don't know. How about you, Keith? I admire you, Keith. There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm honored. Thank you, Mark. What's a new skill that you're learning?
I started playing chess.
Wow.
A couple of years ago. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm learning the skill, but I'm perfecting it. And my young son plays me. So I used to really beat him bad, and I kind of felt bad. And a few times I'd let him win, but I'm like, I don't know if I should let him win. I think, but the little rascal 2 weeks ago beat me.
There you go.
He came back and beat me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say chess.
So speaking of going AI to chess, I was just thinking about there is actually. Have you ever heard of Ray Kurzweil?
Yes.
So and actually,
he spoke at one of the events I was.
He
at.
did.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh, this guy's been studying AI for like 60 years. Like he started in the 60s.
Singularity in 2030. So let's see.
Yeah. But he was also talking about how AI developed at first playing chess. Now, and it could, then it began beating people. And then it went to Go, and that's in 2016 started beating like the best Go players, and how that requires all these different like I mean he was talking about 10 to the umpteenth power of different transactions to occur, and that's just fascinating stuff. And I know in How to Make a Few $1 billion. Brad Jacobs talks about Ray Kurzweil. That's what got me listening to and downloading his latest book. Ray's latest book is The Singularity is Nearer, which came out in 23. It's already outdated.
Yeah, I have that on my bookshelf. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, well, it's already outdated because things are happening so rapidly. But so, how can people get a hold of you or get in touch with you?
Well, they can. What am I on Instagram?
On Instagram?
It's at Mr. Lucky Official on Instagram, but I don't post anymore. I used to post a lot.
Yeah.
I don't post much anymore.
Okay.
Or I'm in LinkedIn, Mark Lachance.
You're in LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So if you want to reach out to Mark, you can reach out on LinkedIn. He may or may not answer you.
I hardly.
We're not giving any promises, but I would recommend you get this book because there's a lot of. I can't wait to read it. Thank you. It's been a great podcast, Mark.
Oh, thank you very much, Keith.
Thanks for tuning in to Locality's Making Bank podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform to catch the latest episodes, and visit localitybank.com today to learn more about all the benefits of banking local.